Such an aromatic smell. Unreal. Welcome to Desert Life with Maria. I'm Maria DeRosa, and today we're going to be talking about this amazing aromatic leaf, which is basil. And probably, unbeknownst to some of you, honestly, I didn't know for quite a while that there are 5 types of basil. So this particular one, if you can look at it, and I've got some more in a bowl, I actually am growing here in my big pots outside in the yard, is a Thai sweet basil. The Thai sweet basil, yeah, tongue twister there, actually has little florets. Now the amazing thing is that when you buy these in the store fresh, a lot of people freak out that they can't use the floret and that it's not edible. It's 100% edible, truly is. Then there's sweet basil, which is the most popular one. All of them have a very similar leaf on them. There's also, except for the Greek bush basil, it literally looks like these little florets in a complete bush. Then there's cinnamon basil that comes from Mexico, and there's a lettuce basil. All of them are similar, all of them are herbs, all of them are aromatic. That means literally when you smell it, it's just amazing. It's kind of like a sweet licorice anise, anise, I like to say anise, I think that's more correct, aroma. So it's just amazing. So what am I going to make with this? What are we preparing today? One of the most popular dishes, or should I say sauces, that's used in a dish is pesto, done by us and done by also the Italians. So I'm using the Thai, and I'm going to actually put in some of these florets into my bowl as I tell you some of the benefits of basil in general. Some of the benefits, I always like that number 3. 1, it's good for your blood pressure. It lowers it. It's good for cholesterol. It lowers it. And the third thing that I personally am really enjoying when I cook it for benefit internally is, as a female and as one on the shorter scale, we tend to, the shorter women that are Caucasian, have an inclination as we age for osteopenia or osteoporosis. Luckily, I don't have that, but one of the benefits of basil is that it's high in vitamin K. Vitamin K is very hard to find in products or in natural plant foods for our products that we use in cooking and baking, and it helps to build up our bone mass muscle. Okay, so let's start. We're doing a homemade basil pesto that we can keep in the refrigerator for up to 1 week. Now, when you go to the store, some of them that you find in a jar are able to stay indefinitely in the refrigerator. Sometimes they don't even put an expiration date, but I believe that they have to by law now. And that's because when that was made, the preservation of the jar and the sealing keeps it nice and tight. So in our purposes, because I may not have that pressure amount to be able to do so, we're talking about a week to 2 weeks at the most, nice and fresh. So we're starting off with our basil. I've taken it from the leaf and the stem, and I've taken off the actual leaves, and now I've added some florets. And this is about a cup's worth, a little bit more than a cup's worth. And back in Montecatini, Italy, I actually went to a farm and watched what they did. They took the leaves and lightly cut them, which I'm doing here. You don't want to cut them too much. And they put them into a mortar, which was a base like this, a bowl, which I don't have one because I lent it to my mama because she uses it a lot for Latin foods, and a stone, and they crushed it. And literally it takes a while to crush it. So we're going to speed up that process. I'm just showing you because it eventually has like almost a liquidy paste that comes from it. So that's done, and it usually takes a good 20 minutes to get it all crushed. But we're going to do that and put it into an actual blender, which most of us have in our homes. So I'm going to get my blender and put it over here as we go through the other ingredients that are going to be put in this pesto sauce. I'm going to plug that in. So we'll put in our leaves. And like I said, it's so much fun. I just love getting my hands into the project because it's part of just bonding with the food, something some of us forget to do. Someone mentioned to me the other day, they go, I get tired of cooking. It seems like I just cook so much during the pandemic. But when you really bring in the amazing smells, flavors, maybe bring in somebody with you, it just makes the whole experience of cooking so much different. Okay, so next ingredient is 3 tablespoons of pine nuts. Now, interesting thing, you do not have to have pine nuts to make a pesto sauce. They're expensive and sometimes they're actually hard to find, but the traditional definitely uses it. So why are they expensive? Why are they hard to find? And they also have an amazing aromatic smell. I'm going to put 3 tablespoons. The reason being, expensive. They're only found in certain parts of the world. They're in a forest. They're literally found in a deep forest. China, Russia, Asia, most of them in China. So that's number 1. Number 2, their gestation period is very long. By the time they're ready to harvest, we're looking at almost a year. And thirdly, what happens is once it's time to actually pick them, to actually take them out of the shell and all the process that's involved in harvesting them is very time consuming. So they're a little bit on the pricey side. So this is the only size that I could find at Whole Foods. And you can get it. Hi, Jeannie. Thanks for watching. I think you can get that somewhere else, right? In smaller bags, possibly Sprouts. But they're so worth it in your pesto. So now we've got the basil. I've got the pine nuts. I'm cheating because I'm using the blender. I'm not going to take up your time to do the mortar, but it's so much fun if you want to get down and dirty. Of course, garlic. Now, you only really need 2 or 3, but I love garlic, so I'm putting in like 5 or 6. Then, sweet Parmesan Romano cheese that I've grated. And this is about 1/3 cup, so I'm going to put that in there. Then, 1/3 cup of extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil. Okay, the olive oil, extra virgin, crucial. And the best of the best if you can get it packed from Italy or the source best, but extra virgin olive oil. Then, lastly, just your little flavoring, and for me, it's sea salt and pepper, a really good ground pepper, and that's all I've got in here. So I'm going to put some of that. This is about, for me, 3 or 4 pinches, which ends up being about maybe 2.5 tablespoons. Okay, so now we are going to process this, and that is going to make our pesto base sauce. So here we go. Cameraman come over and look inside, because you can actually see that it's not that green yet, which is at the point where you can either keep grinding it or add some more fresh leaves. So I'm going to add some more fresh leaves to this and grind it, and it's going to become almost a greeny paste. When you go to cook it and use it in a sauce, you can actually add, some people add fresh cream, some people add milk. I personally like to add a little bit of either white wine or Chardonnay. It gives it an amazing flavor, and it doesn't have as much thick, almost heaviness to your pasta. It's a lot lighter, but that's me. Okay, let's do this again. Push, here we go. All right, we are now ready. Now you'll notice that this looks a little bit different than the pesto that you find in a jar in your store. And the reason being is that it's extremely compressed. And when you look at the back of the jars, it'll say you only need 1 tablespoon, 2 teaspoons, or what have you. This is pretty much what you're using in just one batch of maybe pasta for 4 to 6 people, because it is fresh. It hasn't been compressed. So I'm going to put it into a cup so you can actually see. And all I will need to add to this when I go to cook is just a little bit of butter and a little bit of my white wine sauce that I use. And this is enough for 1 full meal of 4 to 6 individuals. I will be showing you what I'm doing with this. It's great in some salads, not all salads. You have to be careful because it does have that strong, almost licorice type flavoring to it that may not complement some salads. So I'll be putting down the recipe. I'll be giving you a picture of what I'm using this with tonight. And please send suggestions on what you would like me to share. Every week we're doing different things as we approach summer and fall. One of them is we are going to be interviewing some of the staff at Backstreet Bistro, because they're going to be opening their second facility here in Rancho Mirage coming September, and I'm going to take you behind the scenes. So there's a lot of fun things ahead. Just let me know. And also check out a video on Ladies of the Kitchen, because that's exploding as well. So you want to know more, just direct message me. See you next week on Desert Life with Maria. Love your suggestions. Love having you join me. Bye.